Good afternoon, everybody. It is Acid Happy here with HappyDaze Entertainment, and we are doing an awesome episode today. We've got Junie from the MockingJay movement local to Toledo, Ohio with us. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Junie on screen. I do want to apologize before we get started, though, that I was shopping for an event we're having this Sunday. So I apologize for the delay and the appearance on screen. How are you doing today, Junie?
I'm doing good. Not too bad. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very excited about some of our future events and some of the things we're doing together. Do you want to kind of tell people what you do with Mockingjay and what your role there is?
Yeah, so I am the founder and the organizer for Mockingjay Movement. We started last year. Actually, our anniversary just passed on the 25th of January. So we do all kinds of things. We are mostly known for our protests. And a lot of people don't know that we also do other things outside of protesting. So we do a lot of community aid. We've done community potlucks. We've done presentations at the library before. And we've done the ice whistle kits. We were helping with that. And we have plans to do more mutual aid once it gets warmer. So some of them that we've been thinking of doing is like the trash pickup, also like conservation stuff with the environment, and like we have so many things that we've touched on, but we just did not have time last year to do it. So we're hoping to do a lot more of the community aid. But basically, the Mockingjay movement is nonpartisan, so we don't lean Democrat or obviously not Republic or conservative. So, but we are nonpartisan. And basically, what that means is that we don't endorse candidates, whether that be on a local level or a national level. And we will stand up to candidates no matter what their political party is. And outside of the community aid, we also do some events like within the group itself. Like this weekend, we have our anti Super Bowl party where the main like core people that have kind of been there the longest or ones that just want to be more so in the community and not so much protesting. And we have that coming up Sunday. And then, of course, we do our protests. We've done ICE protests. Our very first protest was actually right after Trump was sworn into office. So we did like an anti Trump protest as our first one. We've also done reproductive rights. We've done one for when JD Vance came to Toledo. He had a great big welcoming from us when he came over here. And we've done the No Kings protests and a couple other ones like here and there. But that is pretty much what Mockingjay is at a core and kind of like what we do as well in the community.
Okay. Do you have any future goals for this year to get more involved in the community, such as with children or participating in like local events in that aspect of things?
Yeah. We're definitely looking forward to doing a lot more community focused events this year. And of course, we always have, our protests that, again, people know us for those, but we definitely want to do a lot more community events. The first weekend in May is actually the National United States Postal Service Food Drive. So I've been volunteering with them for about 15 years now. So since I was like really young. And
That's
we
awesome.
did it last year as well, but that was still kind of like in the beginning of our organization. We didn't really have a lot of people that knew about us, but we still had a couple people come out and volunteer for that. So that's something I look forward to every year, and I'm really hoping that with how the organization has grown that more people are able to come out and help with that because they've really been struggling with getting volunteers. And as I mentioned, the trash pickup, we definitely want to do that. We've also been really thinking and talking about doing a community garden. I know that there's a couple of them in Toledo, but they're not very well maintained. So we definitely want to do a community garden that is, people are actually able to go out there and help maintain the garden as well. I am not good with gardening at all, so we'll be finding somebody else to help with that. And we're always open to ideas for community aid too. So even though I've lived in Toledo my whole life, there's still so many things that I don't know about, that events that go on that I don't even see it until it's happening or the day after. So that's why we really need people that are coming to us saying like, hey, what do you guys think about this? And then we can kind of talk about it within the organizers and see, if we're able to actually go there and do that. I know the Toledo Pride was one that I wanted to do. I signed us up last year, but they only like to have one kind of group for each. I don't even know how to explain it. Like one group for each like specialty, I guess you could call it. So they already had a group for protesting and community aid and political organizations. So we weren't able to get approved last year, but I'm really hoping this year, if I submit, the application soon enough or sooner, then we would be able to actually go in there and walk in the parade as well, which I think would be
Yeah.
huge for us. There's, gosh, thousands of people that come out to the Toledo Pride Parade every year. So doing that is definitely on our radar. But yeah, for the most part, we really want the community's input, because I know that there's always people that can't attend the protests, don't feel safe enough to attend the protests, um, but they still want a way to get involved. So we are always open to people giving us suggestion for future like mutual aid things.
Absolutely. That's awesome that you guys are open to that and willing to um, take suggestions and work with people regarding what types of things the people want to see here in the communities.
Mhm.
I had to switch out my mic. Sorry about that. But I also want to ask, is there any type of event that you haven't done or organized that you'd like to organize this year?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, I haven't actually thought of that. I don't know. That's a really good question. I haven't thought of that yet. I mean, we've done the ICE protests, we've done the No Kings, we've done reproductive rights. So I'm not really sure. I haven't really thought about other protests that we can do different topics. Um, Again, we're also open to that too for people that think we should do a protest for certain topics. We're always open to that. We did do a political candidate protest as well for local government in Toledo. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a really good question. I have not even asked myself that question. So that's definitely something that I'll have to look more into. But even with our organizers that are in our group, they always have like new ideas and stuff. I know that one of them, Austin, has been wanting to do like the data center protests. So that's kind of been on our radar as well. But yeah, even with that, we're open to people's suggestion, because it's very much a community based organization. So with a lot of organizations, you have the hierarchy, you have the organizers, you have the whole list of people, and then the people in the community are kind of towards the bottom of that list. So with us is we're very focused and centralized on the people in our organization that are here, and taking suggestions from them and doing things that not only benefit them but let them know that there's other people that do care about that subject, and there's other people that do want to do protests about it. So we're very much open to people messaging us and letting us know what they want to see.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it shows that you're willing to be open to diversity and solidarity within your organization, as well as allowing new things to come, new ideas. That's really good to see, um, especially considering you've got different types of standards that people like to try to maintain with organizations, and
Yeah.
everyone wants to remain professional and stick to all of these silly standards, when in reality, all of us should be trying to collectively help each other so that we can, build up.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of organizations and groups that do not like us because I put it in the organizer chat, but I was on a call with people from 5051 and I kind of talked to them about this. And their thing that they told me, they were like, if everybody likes you, that means you don't stand for anything. That means you're going with the flow and you're trying to please people. If there's people that don't like you, that means you stand for something. So there's a lot of groups and a lot of individuals that do not like us because of that, but we stick and stand by very strongly to our morals and to our beliefs. And we are not afraid to quote unquote make enemies with these other organizations just so we can please them. So we're very diverse and have very strong morals in what we stand by as well.
That's good, and it shows that you have a solid foundation for your community and for the network that you're building.
Mhm. Yeah.
Do you have any negative influence that you've seen within communities that you would want to warn other people about? I'm not asking, like, to call out a specific organization, but are there any things that you've, dealt with that you would personally see as a red flag?
Yeah, yeah. So I think the biggest one for us is a lot of people are very upset that we are protesting Marcy Captor and that we have been protesting her. I mean, we did one last summer and then we're doing one on the 17th of February this year. And there's a lot of people that are very pissed off at us about that because, there a lot of the organizations are Dem leaning, so they're very protective of the Democrats. And then there's also people that are like, well, she's the lesser of two evil candidates in Toledo because the other one is the ex ICE
Yes.
somebody. I don't know where she was at up in the totem pole, but she basically helped coordinate the ICE in the US and in Ohio. So although that's true, we still have to have high standards for our candidates. So even though Marcy is, again, the lesser of two evils, we still have to be able to demand things from her. And a lot of people don't like that we're protesting against her. There's been just a couple. I can't really think of like specific ones, but that one's like a really big one. Is there's a lot of people that are like, "Why are you going against the Democrats?" And it's like, first of all, we're nonpartisan, so anybody is fair game. So it doesn't matter what party they're in. If it's something that doesn't align with us and doesn't align with ethical choices and ethical topics, and it's not even just aligned with us. It's I feel like aligned with a lot of people in the country, not just in Ohio, but there's a lot of people that have the same beliefs and the same morals. And when people in our community and political figures in our community and organizations in our community that don't align with the national public, then we're going to call them out. And a lot of people don't like us for that. So I would say that one is definitely like the bigger one. Um, there's also been some people that haven't been too happy about us joining with other groups for Palestine protests. There's again the Dem leaning people that are like, well, the most important thing is to get Trump out of office, and it's like, yes, we agree with you, but there's other big important things that can exist at the same time as that. So a lot of people have been very upset with us for doing Palestine protests, and I think that those are like really the main the main two like topics. There's also groups that are very old, like very they've been here for a very long time, and most of their organizers and their members are older people, like 50 and older. So we really do not get along with them very well, just because they have very old beliefs. They haven't kept up with, the times. They haven't kept up with what's actually happening and the bigger things that are happening. So there's a lot of them that don't like us, because of that, because we're not very, what's the word, we're not very stereotypical. Like, we don't follow, these invisible rules that are laid out for organizations, and they really don't like us because of that. So I think that those are like the main things. I know when I first started the organization, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like we did the first protest, and I had almost everybody at the first protest, which was about like 20, 25, 30 people. I had every single one of them ask me, okay, what are you doing next? And I was like shocked. I was not prepared for it. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just planned this protest, and I didn't think, far ahead, and I was very naive. And, I thought at the time that having this one protest was good, and, maybe we could do protests later on. But I had never thought that people would actually not only want me to start an organization, but wanted to follow my organization and wanted to be a part of it. And there's been, again, a lot of like the older people that was very harsh on me in the beginning. I was called a bad actor. um, I told that I was causing panic, I was causing chaos, and it was very discouraging. And there was, for a while there, I would say maybe until June, so from January to June, there was a lot of like contemplation of, should I even be doing this? Should I even be continuing to do this? Like, all these other big organizations in Toledo don't like me as a person, so they don't like my organization. And it was very discouraging, but I was like, no, this is something that is much bigger than us. It's much bigger than me. It's much bigger than these other organizations. So those are the main reasons why people really don't like us. And, that also took me a while to be like, to not care about it, because I very much was like a people pleaser, and I'm like, I have really bad anxiety, so just knowing that there's people out there that don't like me and that are talking poorly about me and our organization really bothered me. But now I'm at the point where it's like, it's not about you, and a
Yeah.
lot of the organizations want it to be just about them. So
Yes.
those are like the really big reasons that I can think of as to why people don't like us.
That makes a lot of sense. And to come back on that from an entertainment perspective, one thing we hear in the entertainment industry a lot is that if you don't have haters, you're not
Your
doing
mic
something right.
is like staticky.
Ooh, okay. Ooh,
That's
yeah.
a good question. I'll let her finish what she was saying, and then I can come back to the question.
So what I was saying is in the entertainment industry, when you have haters, it means that you're doing something that other people aren't capable of. And the reason that people are hating on you is because they can't do what you are capable of doing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree with that. So we do have a question. While our eyes are on what's going on national and federally, what are some localized issues of Toledo and Wood County that people might not know about or should know about?
This is a great
So,
question.
yeah, that's a really good question. The most recent one is with Marcy Kaptur. Again, a lot of people are like, she's a Democrat, so she's good. But she actually just voted to do more funding to ICE. She also signed something last June and was expressing gratitude to ICE. And that's like one thing that more people are learning about now, but it's like she's been like this for a while, very long time. And that's why we protest her so much, is because we need someone else in there. We need an independent, or, just somebody else that's running. She's old, like she's decrepit, like we need to get her out of here. Some other local things, there is some things that like people might not know about, is there's also a big, I don't even want to call him an influencer, but a social personnel that is really doing a lot of harmful things for clout. And he has a very, very, very big page on Facebook. I don't even know how many followers he has, but he has a ton of followers. And he's really detrimental to our community. And for the average person that goes onto his page and looks at a few of his posts, you're like, oh, this guy's great. He's keeping everybody updated on what's going on in Toledo. And while the thought of that is really great, his execution is not. And he's causing a lot of harm to people in our community. And that's like one thing that people probably don't know about. Also, there's been talks of them wanting to put a data center in not Toledo, but like the outskirts of Toledo. I don't remember exactly like what area, but that's another thing that's going on. um, Let me think of what else is really happening. Andrew Z is one of them. But I was talking about the Toledo social media page, but Andrew Z is definitely one of them, which I'll come on the record and say this, since somebody else mentioned him. Andrew Z is a sexual predator. He
Yes.
sexually harasses women. Um, I personally have a family member that I'm very close with that he sexually harassed, followed her into the women's bathroom, and asked for sexual favors. So Andrew Z is like dog shit on the bottom of my shoe, okay? So
Yes.
he's also one of those people that just post stuff just to post it, just for attention, just for the clicks, just for the comments. And he actually, kind of going back to the other question, he actually tried to make like an Ice Watch group, and it flopped so hard. I think it maybe was up for like 2 weeks, and then he just completely deleted it because it was too much work for him, and he didn't want to put in the work for that. He just wanted the views and the clicks for posting about the ice spottings. So that's another thing going on in the community. Is like, I feel like a lot of people that don't know a lot about like the food and um, restaurants in Toledo don't really know about him. So he has multiple failed businesses, multiple. He's walked out of his businesses without paying his employees. He's failed almost every single time that what are they called? Like a food inspector came in, and has failed almost every single time. So he's literally a fraud, and he likes to attack other people as well online. He actually is in a feud on Facebook with a black business owner that runs the Hungry Man food. I have never been there, but he basically is like slandering this black man all over Facebook because they've called him out on his fraudulent businesses that he's done. So he's really a clout chaser. Both of them. They're both clout chasers. And yeah, a lot of people might not be aware of them. I'm trying to think of like what other another thing people might not be aware about is The Toledo Police Department and the sheriff are working together with ICE, and they are allowing them to use their detective vehicles, the ones that are like all blacked out, and everyone has seen what a detective vehicle pretty much looks like, or an undercover vehicle. So a lot of people don't know that is when ICE first started coming to Toledo last year, they did not want to say, anything about them, but there was a lot of rumors going around that they were helping them. And then it wasn't until just a few weeks ago that, they pretty much have come out and said that they're working with ICE and that they stand by ICE. And, a lot of people, when something goes wrong, or, they see ICE or anything like that, their first instinct is to call the police and tell them. But a lot of people don't know that they are working with ICE, so they're not going to do anything about it. And I'm trying to think of what else has been going on in the community. There's a lot of, more on a positive note, there's a lot of small businesses that are offering help to immigrants that are, have stuff posted out in public all over their restaurants and their business saying that they want ICE to be abolished and that they stand with the immigrants in our community. I know the House of Dough is one of them. The original sub shop is one of them. So there's still a lot of local businesses that are on our side that are fighting the good fight, and there's not a lot of people that know about them.
To add to that list, I was at the attic about a week ago and I was handed an ice whistle kit that we did not make. Another group had made them, and the workers at the attic were handing those out to people in the establishment. So that is another bar in Toledo that is definitely left leaning, and you can probably get help or, you know, go there if needed.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. I did not know that they were doing that. So I'm very glad to hear that more local businesses are stepping up and making a stance. And kind of also piggybacking on top of that is the thing that happened with Pizza Populis. So if you guys, if nobody has heard of that yet, long story short, they accepted an invitation for a Trump supporter meeting. They ended up being called out for it, and they turned around and said that they didn't know that's what the meeting was for. Um, which is, it's good that they said like, hey, we didn't know that they were doing this, but then at the same time they didn't discourage other people from doing it. So in that instance they had the opportunity to say like, hey, we don't allow this, we don't want this in our restaurant, we don't want to be you know known for allowing these people in our restaurant. But they didn't do that. They just said, hey, we didn't know about this reservation, we're going to cancel it. So they're another one that is like a local business that, like I said, they had the opportunity to say something, but they didn't. And I don't know what other places are really opening like that. And then
Not
also
too
going
sure.
back, yeah, also going back to the original question about more local things that are happening. There's not really other ones that I can think of, but again, like a lot of our information comes from the community, so I'm sure that there's other people, in our community that knows more. We have a Discord for the organization, so anybody is free to join our Discord, which there'll be a link in the description at the end of this live for that. And there's a lot of discussions in different forums of local events that are going on. So that's all I really know about like the local wise of things.
Um, Kind of statewide, they are bringing up old marijuana laws and trying to reimburse those or re-endorse those. saying that we can't go across state line to get bud, something that it technically has never been legal, but with the with the legalization of marijuana in Ohio and Michigan at the same time, they're kind of using this as a ploy to force us to buy the expensive Ohio marijuana and not spend our money in Michigan because Michigan has gained so much money from the marijuana taxes that they actually have very reasonable prices on marijuana. Ohio does not have that leverage because they did not follow suit with Michigan. They didn't legalize marijuana until years later. So now Ohio is dealing with the backlash of not having legalized weed sooner. And all of the Ohioans have been going to Michigan to purchase marijuana. So they're trying to criminalize that and make it more less likely for us to want to go to Michigan. It's a scare tactic so that they can make more money, essentially.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was only like 2 years ago that they legalized marijuana in Ohio. So it was like
Yes.
very recently that they've done that. So, but yeah, that's a big one too.
Yes, there is discussions of us organizing an event for that later in April. So stay tuned and stay updated for that. So you're going to want to follow both Happy Days and the Mockingjay movement if you want to be involved in that in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
Is there
unfortunately, I care about clout more. I was
huh?
reading one of the comments.
Oh yeah, that's actually Jordan. They're from the Happy Days community.
Okay.
Um, yes, I try to remember names, at least like from my community when it comes to usernames and names, so that I can like know who people are and match usernames to faces.
Yeah.
Um, he's also they're also one of the people in the community that actually helps with a lot of the organizing events for Happy Days. So shouts out to the Awkward Fun. Is there any type of events that you do or want to do for holidays, perhaps? Like, is that something you might be involved with community-wise?
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Um, that's a good idea. There's, believe on like Columbus Day, you definitely want to do something for that, like some kind of protest for that, for the indigenous people. And Juneteenth, I think, would also be like a really good opportunity to have the people of color in our organization and in our community, you know, help with them setting up something for a celebration or, whatever they pretty much want for that. We have the 420 event, which that's a holiday to me. So we have that one,
Definitely.
like you said, that we're trying to plan. Trying to think of, like, what other holidays, like the 4th of July, we could do something, like, anti 4th of July kind of thing, like we're doing for the Super Bowl. Think of what other holidays there are. I mean, I love Halloween, so if we want to do a Halloween party, so down to do a Halloween party. um,
That would be a really good way to get the community involved too if we just did a Halloween party.
yeah, yeah, I like that idea. Can have a costume contest too. That'll be fun. That'll be fun to do that. Yeah, yeah. I think a Juneteenth event would be really fun too. But I want to like really make sure that it's it's the people of color in our community that is really leading that, and we're just gonna kind of follow suit with them and support them, how we can from that, because I feel like that's also really important too. Is uplifting our minority members and giving them a safe place to be and also feel welcoming with us too.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And it's also important for us to allow people of specific cultures to, how would you say, represent their own culture and their own ethnic groups as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Now, little doggy.
anti-Halloween party. That's hilarious.
Anti-Halloween where we dress up as all the monsters in the government.
Right, right. Yes, that'll be fun. That'd be really funny.
Very, very fun. It'd be actually that would actually be very interesting to see what people do, because the similarities and the double meaning for that, if we dress up as monsters, I just there's a lot of creative people in the world,
Oh
and you can
yeah.
only imagine the cosplay of government monsters that people would be able to come up with.
Oh yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
beautiful. Do you have any type of, like, advice that you'd wanna give to, say, for instance, younger leaders that might be just getting into activism?
Yeah, yeah. Um, we do have a lot of like younger people that's kind of been sitting back in our Discord from when we first started. But my biggest piece of advice would be don't be afraid. Now, there's a lot of groups of people that are being targeted more than white people. So, absolutely put your safety first. But there's also a lot of scare tactics that are being used right now. There's a lot of things going on where they're trying to scare us, they're trying to discourage us. I mean, like we've all been seeing it with the protesters in Minneapolis, and they're kind of making that like they're being so heavy there that they're showing everyone else in the country like this is what happens when you don't listen to us, and a lot of people are scared about that. But my biggest piece of advice is, you can't leave your comfort zone unless you do scary things. So just taking that first step, even if it's not a protest, even if it's sharing a flyer, even if it's, helping with community events, is don't be scared of basically the backlash. I know that like people with their family, they're also really scared of losing family members by being open and speaking out about current issues. And I know that I've felt that way as well. Um, but with that, it's just like they're family, but I don't want to be aligned with them. I don't want to be a part of that. So I think stepping out of your comfort zone, not being scared, and getting more involved, not just the protests, but with the calls to action, with the community events, and just being like in our Discord and just talking to us, and asking for information, asking for help. And I think
Yes.
that's another like piece of advice I would give to is don't be afraid to ask for help. Like we all need help, and rather that be having a ride somewhere, or need help with food, or anything like that, or even just need people to talk to, and friends to have, is don't be afraid to ask for that help, because like I said, we all need help. And a lot of times people let their pride get in the way, let their ego get in the way. And doing this for just a year that I've been doing this, my personality has completely changed. Like I went from crippling anxiety where I would hardly leave my house to now I'm forced to go to these events and speak to people that are there, and really coming out of my comfort zone too. So don't be scared. Um, Step out of your comfort zone and ask for help when needed.
Absolutely. Um, to also add a little bit on, I wanna say, a lot of us don't realize how uncomfortable we are in our comfort zone until we give ourselves the opportunity to find new comfort in new people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because
Yes.
if you surround yourself with constant negativity and you're constantly surrounding yourself and being fed negative stuff by family members, and you continue staying in that stagnant cycle, you're just gonna keep repeating the same stages of life. But once you get out of that comfort zone, you never know when you might find your next best friend, or you might find a soulmate that completely aligns with your ideologies and the morals that you have as a person as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's a really great way to put that. And yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Now, when it comes to entertainment and music, what are some artists that you would suggest we avoid during this time? I have my list, but I want to know what your list of artists that you're avoiding during right now is, because artists are a huge influence on the way people think and move in society.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. My number one is Taylor Swift. Please do not support Taylor Swift. I feel like her fan base is a cult. They're very much of she could never do wrong, but Taylor has been in the industry for so long, she knows exactly what she's doing. She has shown who she really is time and time again. And you know, I was never like a huge Taylor Swift fan. I mean, like in middle school, I liked, her Red album, her 1989 album. And now, like, I literally had one of her songs on my playlist, and I just removed it from my playlist like a few months ago. And she's really one not that I would suggest not to support. She also does a lot of what's the word, like damage control. I mean, like with the merch that she had that had the Nazi symbols and the electric bolts, people called her out hardcore. She never said anything about it. She never denied it. They just secretly, quietly removed it from their website and stuff. And she also is friends with a lot of Republicans, a lot of MAGA, and she's never addressed that. She, a defense that a defense that she's made. Sorry, I was reading the question, so I got sidetracked. I have ADHD, so I'm like,
I do the
once I'm
same
on my way,
thing.
I'm like, um, oh, a lot of people were like, she endorsed Kamala Harris. She endorsed Kamala Harris at the very end, after millions and millions of people were asking her to endorse her. That's when she did it. And I feel like we as a society need to understand that if you have to beg someone, if you have to beg a celebrity, a musician to do the right thing, they don't want to do it to begin with. They
Mhm.
don't want to do it to begin with. Um, and I just think that she's just a terrible person. She's money hungry, and yeah, she's just terrible. Um, Another person is Selena Gomez, and she's also similar to Taylor. She hasn't said anything. She hasn't clarified. I feel like at this point, if people ask you, like, do you support Trump? And you can't give them a yes or no answer, we already know your answer. So, she's another one where people have asked her and she's never denied it. She's never said no. And then, when I started kidnapping people, last year, and it became more prevalent and they were doing it more and more, then she decides to go on Instagram crying about my people are being taken, but she's not taking those actions to help them. She's
No,
not
not at all.
donating. She's not speaking out about it. She's not uplifting voices of people that have been taken by ICE, their family, their friends. And she's also another one. She gets that from her bestie Taylor. Um, Tate McRae is also another one, which I was kind of upset about because I liked some of her songs. But she's also another one that has, like, people have dug up some MAGA stuff and some racist stuff that she said, and she's never publicly come out and was like, no, I'm not like that anymore. I don't support, Trump. I don't support MAGA. I'm not Republican. So that was a disappointment. Um, Other artists, I feel like this one is a given, but Drake, he's just a pedophile to begin with, and he doesn't give a damn about anybody. Um, Kanye West. So he just posted. I mean, I feel like we're all familiar with Kanye West and what he said and what he's done, but he just posted like a statement a few days ago talking about um, I'm bipolar, I was manic, I didn't mean it, that's not what I meant, and basically begging people to forgive him, and we shouldn't. We shouldn't forgive him because yes, people change. I'm a firm believer that people change, but if you do something so harmful and so hurtful to so many people, and now you want to backpedal and backtrack on it, we're not going to forgive you for it. So he's definitely one, and I know that there's going to be people like, oh, well, he apologized, so now I'm a Kanye fan again, and it's like, no, you just shouldn't support him. He has a long history of being a problematic person. Even before all of this, in the past 3-4 years, he's had a long history of being a problematic person. Trying to think of what other artists are.
Nicki Minaj blatantly supports
Yes.
Trump and ICE.
Nicki Minaj.
Like she'll straight up argue with you about it, like and like miss the Grammys because she was at the White House or some. That was the whole joke of the gist, anyways, is that she was at the White House with Trump, and that's why she missed the Grammys.
Yeah, she's definitely another one. Jelly Roll. He seems to be really popular right now too. He used to be friends. Well, I don't want to say used to, but he stopped posting about her. What is that woman's name? She's in the Trump administration. She has like the brown hair.
I know who you're talking about.
Yes, I can't remember her name, but he's friends with her. And he's also another one that hasn't come out and said, I'm not MAGA. I'm not, this. Yeah, she probably owes a lot of money.
That's the thing, is a lot of these influencers are on contracts too, and that's why they can't speak about the politicians. And then don't even get me started on the files.
Yeah.
More than half of them are in those.
Yeah. Jay-Z, he's in the Epstein files. And
oh my God.
People hate me. People attack me every time I say this, but I'm going to say it. Beyonce. Beyonce's
the ringleader of all the Illuminati motherfucking artists. That is the theory.
Of course she's talented. Nobody can deny that she's not talented. Of course she's gorgeous, okay? But that is another fan base that I believe are in a cult. They put her on a pedestal, and it's like, she does things so blatantly obvious that her fan base just looks past and refuses to, look at it. I mean, her husband, for one, he's all over the Epstein list. She still supports him, still married to him. And then even like the way that she allows her daughter, her minor child at 11 years old, to go up on stage wearing these very revealing outfits. And yeah, she's another one. I'm like, I'll say it. I'll say it. Don't support Beyonce. Don't support Jay-Z.
I say it a lot on here. Do not support the mainstream media at all. They're all connected. And if they are not on the Epstein list, then they were probably hanging out with Diddy. And I'm just going to remind everybody that parallel lines do not cross. Okay, so when it comes to those things. So just because they were hanging out with Diddy and not Epstein, or vice versa, doesn't mean they weren't doing the same things.
Yeah.
All of these things are interconnected, all of them.
Yeah.
In a way, you can look at it like this. The Epstein files have a lot of Democrats, a lot of Republicans, and a lot of left and right-sided politicians in it. With the Diddy stuff, you've got a lot of mainstream artists, mainstream actors, influencers involved in that. So when you're looking at the bigger picture, it comes to the realization that everybody in the elite and the elite team, whether it's an artist, whether it's an influencer, whether it's a politician, whether it's a government official, they are all part of the same fucking scam, the same BS. So when it
Yeah.
comes to support and the medias, you got to find like little silly underground local things like this, what you're watching right now.
Yeah. Snoop Dogg, he's another one.
He uses AI like there's no tomorrow, mind you.
He also opened up for the inauguration, so that kind of tells you everything. For those people that like rap and hip hop music, DaBaby is also another one. He's very homophobic, extremely homophobic and transphobic. Kodak Black, he is very much of like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So he says a lot of controversial things as well. Kid Rock, I know that he used to be, he's not really anymore, but he used to be a big supporter as well. I mean, he's performing at the fuck is their name? I don't even remember. Charlie Kirk's business, whatever that fuck is. Turning Point. Yeah.
Irrelevant Charlie Kirk related things.
Yeah.
Leave the kitty alone. She's not interested in you.
Azela Banks. She's also a supporter. She actually attended his rally. Billy Ray Cyrus, he's another one too. He's a big Trump supporter.
He's also a fucking chomo.
Yeah. Jason Aldean.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Him too.
Lots and lots of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. That's all that I can think of right now.
All right. Well, do you want to go ahead and talk about some of the upcoming events? Because we're coming up on an hour. So I think we should definitely do that.
Yeah. Upcoming events. February 17th is the National Day of Impeachment and Lobbying. So we're going to be protesting Marcy Kaptur. Again, for the reasons I listed earlier on, but for the people who may not have seen that, she has voted to fund ICE and has also extended her gratitude to ICE. So we, as MockingJay, have also reached out to her numerous times throughout the year that we've been. More towards like the summertime is really when we started protesting her. We have called her, we have left her voicemails, we have emailed her, we have sent her letters in the mail, we have gone to her office. She refuses to speak with us. But it's really funny because she'll speak with a lot of the Dem organizations in Toledo, but she refuses to speak to us. So we're holding a protest February 17th. It is 3 to 5 p.m. It's in front of her office downtown. I believe the address is 1 Maritime. I believe that's what her address is. But yeah, we're doing that one February 17th. And then our next big one is the No Kings protest. That is coming up on March 28th. And that one is going to be at the Franklin Park Mall off of the Monroe Street entrance. And we're also going to have the live music from you guys. And also call to action where, we'll kind of get in a group at 4 p.m. and talk about what the next actions are to take after the protest. And then I know you guys have a 420 event, but that's still, kind of in the works.
Is there any other events, maybe other orgs that you're going to be working side by side with coming up?
See, Logan would be the person to ask that. Too. They know all of the events that go on in Bowling Green and Toledo, in Ohio in general.
Yes, definitely noticed that.
Yeah, well, they are the rep for Ohio 5051, so they know a lot of all the events going on in Ohio. There is a Venezuela um, protest that is. They had to reschedule it. It was a couple weeks ago, but then we got that big snowstorm, so I'm not exactly sure what day they rescheduled that to. Um, I know there's also Palestine protests very frequently. They used to do it every week, but then it got really cold, so they don't really do it every week now. But you can go to the American Muslims for Palestine AMP. They always have posts on there, and then we'll also put that link in the description as well after this live stream, so you guys can go check them out. The Northwest Ohio Peace Coalition, they also have very frequent protests, so I'll put their info as well. They also do a lot of meetings, community meetings, so I highly recommend people go out to their meetings and just learn about them as an organization, and get a little bit more involved with them. But I don't know of any other protests that are coming up soon. I know that we've talked about doing another ice making event, but we haven't really decided like a time or day to do that yet. But I think that those are like the only ones that I can think of right now.
Heck yeah. Do you have anything you want to say or to catch up on before we get off of here?
I don't think so. I think like the only other thing I would say is for those that have been in the Mockingjay movement, and for those that are even thinking about joining after seeing this live stream, thank you. We appreciate it. We really appreciate every single person that's in our organization. We're not as big as like the other a lot of other organizations, but um, we're very appreciative of all of our members, and we try to have some kind of personal connection with each of them, and at least talk to each of them. So thank you for supporting us, and then thank you for hosting me today, and giving me a platform to be able to share our information too.
Of course. Thank you for coming on and sharing and trying to help get the community together just a little bit more. Stuff like this always helps get us together, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll make sure and clip some videos from this. If anybody that's watching clipped anything, send those to me. I do appreciate it when you guys do that. Um, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel here. And again, we're going to be putting the links for the Mockingjay organization in the description of the video. So check back in about an hour. You'll have the Discord link and the links to all the social platforms via hyperfollow. And I will link AMP and Ohio 5051 in the description, as well as the Northwest Ohio Peace Coalition.
Yep.
All right. Well, I love you all, and I hope you all have a blessed evening and stay safe out there in the world, please.
Yes.